Just make sure I am live in the right place. Oh, looks like it. Let me just check. Yes, there we go. Brilliant. Fantastic. Right. If you are just joining me, then please say hi in the chat so I can see who's here. That would be brilliant. I can see there's a couple of people joining. That's fantastic. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Liz. Hi, Liz. Yes, if you just want to say hi so I know who's here, that would be wonderful. And we'll just give it a few more minutes while people are joining. You've got time to grab a cup of tea or a glass of wine or whatever you want before we start, so do make yourselves comfortable. And if you're just joining, just type in hi in the chat so I know who's here. Hi, Julie. Hiya. Now, I should have had Evelyn here tonight. She should have been joining me tonight, but she's gone to be Darren's special guest, his +1, at a presentation ceremony tonight where he's getting presented with his next sponsorship deal from Better Leisure. So she's just texted me to say that they've got live music and even a magician. So she's well made up. She's all excited. So that's really good. Hi, Audrey. Hiya. Yeah, so she's going to be having a fantastic night, I'm sure. Who else have we got? Let's see. If you're just joining, just say hi so we know who's here. That would be wonderful. How is everybody doing in the heat? Hi, Sally. Bit better today, wasn't it? Cooled off a little bit today. Much improved, I thought. In fact, it's even looking like it might rain here in a minute. It's looking really quite kind of dark and overcast. But did anybody have any top tips for staying cool? We've got a bucket here that usually we put the floor washing stuff in for the kitchen. And after Darren had finished work every night, I filled it up with ice and water, and he sat with his feet in it to cool down because his office is upstairs and it was really, really hot upstairs. Mine not too bad because I'm downstairs in the lounge, which doesn't get a lot of sun until the evening, so much better. Yeah, Audrey's saying it's raining in Farringdon, so yeah, I'm cooler today, Sally. Much better, isn't it? Can cope with this. This is much better. Although why I'm saying that I don't know, because we're going on holiday on Saturday and we're going to Menorca, so it's supposed to be 32 degrees there, so I'm sure it'll be really hot. But we'll just hang on a few more minutes. So I know there are other people joining us. If you're not sure what to get out for your kit to get ready, then all you really need for tonight is some sentiments to add, and also some ink, obviously, to stamp them with. A punch if you want to. I've used the little oval one, so that sort of size, nothing too big. Yeah, and I also am going to show you a little tip with the blending brush. Jodie's on her way. She's just had someone come to the door. No problem. We'll hang on. Hi, Marion. Hi. So yeah, so we, and Heidi. Hi. I'm going to show you a little trick with the blending brush, but you don't have to. If you haven't got a blending brush, don't panic. Because you can do it equally as well without. But if you want to get your blending brush out, then that might be worth a go as well. Okie dokie. Right, let's get on with the news, shall we? What have I got to say? So apart from the heat, it's been a super busy week as well. As you've probably gathered, those of you who do Coffee Club and Card Club regularly, I've been preparing kits ready for everyone to have them, and I'm sure some of you have already got your kits ready for August, because as I said, I'm going away on holiday on Saturday, and Julie's watching while cooking dinner. Oh, lovely. Oh, that's okay. Don't apologise. Tell us what you're cooking. We might all be round. Yeah, so I'm trying to get ahead basically and be a bit organised. And so Coffee Club is the 4th of August. and Card Club, this one is going to be the 11th of August. So those kits are all now cut and prepared, and most of them have gone out. I think I've got a couple left to go. So I've got Marion's, I'll leave yours here as you're sorting out the house and feeding the cats, I'll leave it on the side. And Sally, I've got your Card Club kit for August as well, but there's plenty of time, so I'm sure we can meet up before the 11th, that won't be a problem. But everybody else either should have theirs or it should be delivered soon by your delivery person. Depends on who delivers it for you. So, being as I am going away, there won't be a newsletter on Monday in your email box. You'll pop in tomorrow. Brilliant. Okay, Sally, that's lovely. I'll be here all day working, so that's fine. Yes, there won't be a newsletter on Monday. For obvious reasons, because I'm away. But the following Monday, I have got one scheduled because I've got some things that I wanted to remind you of before Coffee Club and Card Club. So there will be one the following week. What else have I got to tell you? So in the meantime, while I'm away and while you're not getting bugged by me through the newsletter, there's loads of things for you to keep doing if you want to keep crafting. No reason why you can't keep crafting. There's loads of things on the blog. So if you've not yet made it to my website, it's papercraftwithjenny.co.uk, and you will see on the very front page a posting every few days. I try and do 2 a week if I can. One of those at least always has project ideas in, so it's got new cards, new inspiration, new products, new techniques and different things to try out. So always worth going on there if you're looking for a bit of inspiration and want to try something different. Also we've still got, well we've only just started really, we've got the Christmas mini catalogue, again, which most people, I hope, in fact, I hope nearly everybody should have one of these now. If you haven't got one and you want one, let me know. Anybody who's ordered with me in the last 6 months or attended a workshop like this will have had one automatically. But if you haven't and you want one, then do let me know. I've got a few I can stick in the post. So that one is July to December, and it also includes all the Christmas goodies as well. And for this month, July and August, we've also got Celebration as well. Hi, Mum. And so Celebration, for those of you who've not shopped with Celebration before, it's a freebie basically. So for every £45 that you spend from any catalogue through any means, so if you're ordering through the website and you want to go on the clearance rack as well, or any sale items or anything like that, all of that's included. If your order comes to £45 or more, you get to choose free products from the Celebration catalogue. There are beautiful papers, there are stamp sets, there are die sets. Look at that one, that's proper holiday, that one. Proper holiday set, caravans and things. Let's have a look, what else have we got to show you? Oh, we've got lovely stamp set, nature stamp set, and we've got some cards and envelopes. So loads of different goodies to suit everyone's taste, and you choose what you want. So you can have whatever you fancy. Every £45 that you spend, you get a freebie from there of your choice. So that is worth having a look at, especially if you're feeling a bit hot and bothered and thinking crafting's a bit much, but I want to get creative. Have a look through the catalogues and get some ideas. What else have we got? The Christmas workshop. So there will be some more details coming out through Facebook and through the newsletters and things for the Christmas workshop. It's on I want to say the 22nd of October. I think that's the right date. It's the first Saturday in half term anyway, in October half term. It's an all-day event. I've done it for years at Buscott Village Hall, and we're going to do it again there live this year for the first time in, 2-3 years. So I'm really excited about that, and it's all-day crafting. Loads of different types of crafting for Christmas. So we do obviously Christmas cards, we make gift boxes and bags and tags. This year we're definitely going to be doing some crackers, Christmas crackers. 29th, thank you Mum, last Saturday in half term, get it right. Of course it's the 29th, it's Mum's wedding anniversary, how could I forget that? Yeah, 29th, so it's the 29th. So if you were one of those people who did my survey on the Facebook page and said, yes, oh, I definitely would like to come to an in-person crafting, well, now's your chance to sign up. So yeah, that'd be really good. Places are starting to go. So if you want to join me, it's £35 for the whole day. You will get refreshments all day long, including tons of my homemade cakes. You will also get everything you need to make all the projects. All you need to bring is your basic crafting kit and your adhesives. And you will also get a goodie bag to take away as well with product in it. So yeah, it's a really fun day. And yeah, I'd love you to join us. That would be great. Okay, so there's that to book as well and think about. Okie dokie. So I think that is everything that I need to tell you for now. I'll tell you about prize draws and stuff at the end. So if I forget, just give me a nudge, okay? I'm going to turn the camera down because I want to show you what suites we're going to be using. 'Cause, usually I try to stick to one kind of suite of products if I can, but today, because we're going to be doing some seaside-y themed cards, there are two to choose from. So I thought we might as well use a bit of each. So you've got bits from your kit from both. Oh, and I should also say, if you did Coffee Club a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, if you did Coffee Club and you remember you had some leftovers from Coffee Club, now's the time to go and get them. There were a few extra shells in the die cut that I sent you. You might want those to add to your add to what you're going to be doing tonight. Okay, so yeah, if you did Coffee Club, go and grab your extras. Meantime, I will turn the camera around and let's try and get sorted. So let's turn that round. There we go. Whoops, it's one of the lights. That's not good, is it? Right, let's get a bit closer. Let's have some lights on. There we go. Okie dokie. And let's have that one as well, see if that's better. There we go. How's that? Okay, so the first kit that I'm going to, or the first suite I'm going to show you is this one. It's called Friends Are Like Seashells. It's from the annual catalogue, the new annual catalogue. And it's on page 22. So it is one that's carried over from last year. And we did do some stuff with it last year. You might remember it was one of Evelyn's favourite sets. And so she designed some cards for us using the shimmery cardstock and also doing some blending with the blending brush. So we're going to enhance that and take it a step further this time. Using the next suite that is kind of seaside themed. So this one comes with this beautiful stamp set, loads of shells and loads of nice sentiments and things. But it also comes with, at the top of the page here, you can probably just about see it, but it's in your kit. It's an embossing folder of a seaside theme. And there is a matching die set as well that you can put over the top of the embossing folder. And then when you run it back through your cut and emboss machine again, it then cuts out all the shells and things. And it's really beautiful. So this is one suite. And then the main suite that we're going to be using is this one, which is called Texture Chic. And Texture Chic, or Seasons of Chic, is the stamp set. Again, has got, well, as you might imagine, as it's Seasons of Chic, has something for every season. So we have got seashells, and we've got oak leaves, we've got snowflakes, and then we've got some summery flowers as well. But I just thought it would be really nice to try and concentrate on the seashells, because the seashells match, as you'll see as we go along, lots of the papers as well. And they also come with this beautiful gold paper, which is called Distressed Gold Speciality Paper. It's not thick card, it's quite a flexible paper. So I've done a bit of the fishing net die and also some shells cut out for you from this. And so this is beautiful for sort of summery, sandy beach kind of themes, but I think it'll also be really good for Christmas as well. So I wanted us to give it a try and see how we got on with it before, for sort of summer cards first. So we're going to be using this suite, the papers and the dies as well. The dies cut out little shells, and they also cut out the fishing net kind of die as well. So, and those are the things that you've got in your kit. So let's get rid of that a moment. So you should have a kit like this with lots of bits and pieces in it, and your all-important raffle ticket, of course. Your kit, I think this month's did come with a chocolate bar in it, but next month's won't do because I put them together when it was really, really hot on Sunday, and I just thought if I put chocolate in it, they're going to melt. So I apologise, you do not have any chocolate if you're signed up for August, but you should have some chocolate for this month. Anyway, so we'll come back to that kit in a moment, but you also might have some leftover bits from Coffee Club, if you did Coffee Club, that are the seashells and a bit of the seaweed and things that we didn't use, so hang on to that as well, because you might want to use that as well today. So I'm just going to move my kit out of the way a moment so that I can show you the cards that we're going to make. So we've got this one is a portrait book fold. So do you remember when you have the spine here stays put and it just opens from inside the spine? Then we've got a pair of cards, which is pretty cool. So we've got these two cards that are similar, but what you'll notice is we're using a single piece of patterned paper, and we're using the corners for this card and then the center strip for this card. And I'll show you how to do that. And these are where the shells, if I hold it up to the camera, you might be able to see it a bit better. But the shells have been, they're embossed and die cut. And then they've also been enhanced with a bit of blending brush as well. So you might just be able to see the colour there. It's quite pale. Let me show you, if I show you this one, that might show up the blending a bit better. So that's what I'm going to show you tonight as well, just to give a bit more texture and depth to your images, really. So that's those two. And then the final card that we're going to be making is this card, which I'm sure somebody clever will be able to tell me the name of this. But if you came to the Windmills workshop, this is one that we made at the Windmills workshop. It's kind of almost like a, I don't know really, a double stepper or something. It's so you've got a stepped card on top of a basic card base, so it kind of gives you that double movement. So that's quite different, quite sweet. So we're going to be doing that one as our last card as well. Okay, so I think we'll start with this one first. So let's get those other cards out of the way for the time being. Who's crafting along tonight? Let's start there. See who's going to be joining me with some crafting first, while I grab my kit and just get the bits and pieces I need out. So let's see what we're going to start with. We'll start with a plain Sally's crafting along, fab. So you've got your standard card blank, and Liz's and Dee is. Ooh, loads of you, that's great. Wonderful, wonderful. And let's see, what else do you need out of here? You've got a little bag with some kind of fishing net stuff in it, and Mama's as well, brilliant. And you've got lots of different shells in here. It's completely up to you how and when you use these little shells. And Julie's crafting after her mac and cheese. Fabulous, that's good. Yeah, so you've got lots of shells in here in this bag, and it's completely up to you what you use and when you use it. All the cards have little shells on them, so you can add as many or as few as you wish. Okay, then you should have a piece of patterned paper that has shells on it, like this. And it's got spots on the back. That's easy to recognise because it's got spots on the back. And you also need your bit of beautiful, beautiful shimmery ribbon. And what else? You should have a small strip of paper as well. That's, again, it's shells on one side and spots on the other. And then your little bag of shells and fishing net and such like. Okay. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to grab your card base. Let's just move the bits out of the way. And you're going to fold it over and crease it with bone folder, as usual, so that you can see that centre crease. Because the next thing you're going to do is put a second score line on the front of the card. So I'm just going to grab my scoreboard and I'm going to measure. I think it's a centimetre, but let me measure it to make absolutely certain. First, no, it's more than a centimetre. Let's just have a look. It is 2 centimetres. So you want a score 2 centimetres from your score line. So if you've got your score line in the middle, you want another score line 2 centimetres to the side of it. So just be careful that you do not chop your card using the cutter instead of the scorer, because you want to score it. So on the front of the card then, you should have a 2 centimetre score line that's 2 centimetres from the hinge. Okay. And you can see when I was cutting my bits of card, I think I was careful and make sure that I had this bit in my bag, but my blades are getting a bit blunt, so I might need to do a bit of trimming off with that afterwards. But anyway, let's get that one out of the way. So it's 2 centimetres from the score line. There's our card. So the front, you're then going to fold back on itself and crease it in the opposite direction, so that when the card opens, you can hold on to the new border that you've made, and you'll just be able to open from like inside that bookbind edge. Okay, just pause there a minute, have a quick slurp of my tea while you catch up with that. I should be saying as well, do you like my lovely new holiday nails? They're not nails by Carol today, they're nails by Emily today, because Carol's on holiday. But I have to say they're very beautiful and I am very happy with them. And my toenails are even better, let me tell you. But I'm not going to show those on camera, you'll be glad to hear. Don't think anybody really wants to see my feet at this time of night. Anyway, so you should have your card base folded in half, and then a 2 centimetre score line from the hinge, which you've creased so that it folds back on itself. Okay. You are then going to add, and these are flat, stuck flat down. So you're going to put your seashells up on the main part of the front of the card, and your spotty strip on the bit that you've scored. So there should be a border around each of your pieces of paper. So I'm just going to stick those on flat. So I'm going to open the card out entirely so that it's easier and I don't get any bounce back while I'm sticking them on. So I'm going to use seal just because it's nice and quick and easy. But you can use whatever adhesive you've got at home that is your favourite, whatever you normally use, and stick that down, keeping the little bit of border all the way around the outside. And then the same with your strip as well. Now I've chosen to use the opposite side, the back side, if you like, of the paper for my edge strip. But you can use seashell side again if you want to. It's completely up to you. On my original one that I did, I chose different paper altogether for the stripping bit. I chose this bit with kind of a little bit of extra gold running through it. It's kind of like, I don't know what you'd call it really. It's like a hexagonal pattern. But actually, I thought I'd rather keep in keeping with the colours and keep the pinks and the browns. So I've chosen spotty instead for our kits this time. So, yeah, so you should have the strip down the edging piece and then the main piece of patterned paper on your card front. And when you've got to that point, that's when you want to grab your ribbon, okay? And this is not going to be a really complicated bow or anything. You can make it a complicated bow if you want to. That is absolutely fine. This is really beautiful. The card that we're using is called Pool Party, the colour, if you're looking at colours. And this sheer ribbon is Pool Party sheer ribbon as well. And again, I think this is going to be really popular with Christmas crafting, where people are making snowflake cards and gifts and things like that, because you've got that lovely shimmer to it too. So once you've got your patterned paper stuck down, you're going to stick you're going to put your ribbon inside the spine of the card flat, and then you're going to tie a knot or a fancy bow if you're into a fancy bow. I am not, so I am going to tie a knot because I am not into a fancy bow. And did that work? Yes, brilliant. So I'm just pulling it diagonally, and because it's sheer, it's see-through, so you don't have to worry about it covering up your patterned paper, because you can look straight through it. And then you just kind of wiggle it around so that the knot is where you want it to be. And then in a moment, you're going to trim the ends off. But before you trim the ends off, you want to then cover the ribbon on the inside of your card with glue, tape, whatever. I always use tape at this point because it holds the ribbon in place better. So you're gluing between your two score lines, and then that will squash the ribbon in the bind, in the book bind, hence where the card gets its name from. And it will mean you then get that clever opening where it only opens out from the centimetre score line that you made earlier, the 2 centimetre score line. See, I'm just going to stick a couple of bits of tape over there, and we have done this card in the past, so I'm sure we've done it at Coffee Club and at Card Club, so I'm pretty sure you guys will all be experts in how to do this. This is the only trouble with lovely new nails. I now don't have a raggedy bit to be able to poke up the edge, so I'm going to have to use the edge of my scissors to get my tape up now. There we go. And I need a bin as well. I don't have a bin here at the moment. I need to go and get a bin in a minute. Just get the edge of the... Come on, up you come. There we go. So you should have tape or glue or whatever you've got over the top of the ribbon on the inside, and then just squash it flat. The best way I find is to fold it over and then go over it again with your bone folder, so that you get a really strong bond. And then when you open the card next, you'll find the ribbon is squashed in the book bind, which is exactly what you want. Then you can trim the ends off. There we go. And always cut them at a diagonal, so because it just looks a bit more professional, basically. Okay, right. While you're doing that, I'm just going to grab a bin. I have got a bin in here somewhere. I have a bucket bin, shall we, tonight, because that one's closest to me. There we go, just to put all my bits and pieces in. There we go. Let's put that out of the way. Let's bring the sample in as well. Okay, now, if like me, your ribbon is starting to move around and you want it to sit still, top tip is to stick a glue dot underneath the back of the knot. So I'm going to do that too. Grab a glue dot. It doesn't work brilliantly if you use other forms of glue for this, but it does work fantastically with a glue dot, because glue dots are see-through, but they also are quite a light adhesive. So, and you can kind of squash them into place as well where you want them to be. So I don't want that knot to move around as much. I want it to sit a bit flatter. So I've just stuck a glue dot underneath the back of it to hold it in place. But you can't see it because it's see-through, which is wonderful. Okay. So the next thing to get out is your little bit of fishing net, and also your selection of shells. So whichever shells you want to use. So on this card, you'll see, if I hold it up, you'll see that the biggest shell has got 2 layers to it. So you have those 2 layers in your little pack. So if you want to double layer it, you can. So there's a plain scallop shell, and then there's a scallop shell with some little die cut pieces cut out of it. So let's bring back my bin and just pop those little die cut pieces out, and then you'll see that it creates the pattern that would be on the back of a shell, and then you can stick one on top of the other. So you just need a bit of glue to do that. You'll need to use wet glue for this, because you'll find that any other kind you won't be able to get it sort of in between the creases really, and the cracks. Also, wet glue allows you to kind of slide it into place. Oops. As you can see from mine, I'm having a bit of trouble lining it up. There we go. That's better. And again, I find when I've got something like this, I use the wet glue, slide it along, line it up, and then I turn it over and give it a really good press down on the solid side on the back. And that tends to squash out any bits of glue that are oozing out the edges, so you can kind of get rid of those quickly with your fingers before that starts to set and dry. And also it means that the front of your piece is really nice and flat then. So I am going to use that one, and what else have I got in here? I've got a little scallop shell, so we'll go for that one too. Can I pick the pieces out? There we go. And then I think we'll have, don't want the gold one because I don't want it to overtake the gold in the fishing net. So this one. Oh, Marion, you haven't got any fishing net. Oh dear. Oh, that's not good. I don't know why you haven't got any fishing net. It may be, possibly, it may be. I don't know if you've got all your pieces of card out yet, but if you haven't, it may be stuck between your layers of other bits of card. That is definitely possible. Yeah, definitely possible. But as you are going to be around here in the next few weeks, if you can't find it, I'll cut you another piece and leave it out for you. Because it's just a quick die cut, so I can run it through the machine. I'm sorry about that. That was very unintentional. I was hoping that everybody's bag had all the bits in it. There were an awful lot of shells and bits and pieces to cut this month though. If you're on to adding your decoration, you've chosen your shells, you just need to pop out some of the little pieces from your fishing net piece. You don't need to pop everything out. I actually think it looks quite nice with not every individual hole taken out. So I just tend to kind of do a random selection really, whichever ones, I don't choose them, it's just whichever ones fall out first. And then I kind of keep the rest in there. And don't worry too much if I haven't popped every single one out. So I think it looks okay. It looks kind of a bit rags and tatters really. So just taking a few loose bits out. And then what I'm going to do is kind of just lay that on the front of my card, decide where I want that to be. I'm not having it square, I'm having it kind of at an angle. And you could put some glue behind it at this point if you wanted to, or you can, yes, I will leave some out for you. Don't worry, Marianne, I'm really sorry about that. If you don't want to stick it down at this point, then you can wait and your shells will hold it down when you put glue on your shells, because your shells will go, some of the glue will go between the holes and things and keep your fishing net firm. So I'm going to put just a couple of kind of strategic blobs behind my fishing net, not too much, obviously on the bits that have still got pieces in there. Just kind of lay that down, just hold it for a couple of seconds, and then I'm going to start piling on my shells. And they're kind of overlaid, if you can see that on this card. So they're not, they're a bit higgledy-piggledy, if that makes sense. Then they're on top of each other. There's not any particular massive kind of plan for how these are going. It's just little bits of dobs of glue behind them, just layered up, slightly overlapping. You might find that if you're using wet glue, it takes a bit longer to dry at the moment, just because, I know that sounds a bit bonkers because you think, well, it's really hot, it would dry quickly, but actually what happens is this PVA sort of based glue, it liquefies it a bit more, so it will be a little bit more runny at the moment. So you can leave them till they go a bit tacky, or if not, then you just need to press them down and firm them up a little bit more. So just layering those leaves over the top, shells over the top of each other, and just holding them in place for a few seconds. And then I'm just going to add a sentiment as well. So let me just see. Did I put some spare bits in here for sentiments? I think I did, actually. Yeah, I did. There we go. So you've probably got a bit of spare of pool party, and that's for this particular card sentiment. But I mean, you can use any colour you want in your bag. In your main bag, you should have a bit of pool party, also a little bit of the pink, which is, what colour is it? It is petal pink, and also some soft succulent as well. So you've got a choice. So I'm going to use soft succulent for my sentiment. And I'm going to choose a sentiment from the Seasons of Chic stamp set. So I'm going to do Thinking of You, I think. Oh, that's the one I chose before. How funny. That was not intentional. I'll do that one. Where's my blocks? There are my blocks. There we go. Let's clean my block a minute. Got the Stampin' Scrub cleaner in the background here. My table today, I'm on my dining room table, which is where I do all my in-person workshops if you've come to my house. So it's not a small table by anyone's imagination, it is quite big, and today it is completely and utterly covered, not only in all the stuff for tonight, but also in all the bits that I've got out already, ready to pack for holiday. So it's heaving is what it is at the moment. Okay, and then I'm just going to punch out that sentiment. I'm going to emulate the shell by using the crinkly part of the punch. So I've got the crinkly Thinking of You bit of the punch. And for the sentiment, I did put it on 3D dimensional pads so that there was a bit of a raised profile to it. So I'll put a couple of dimensionals on the back of that one. And then again, I'm just covering it over the top of the fishing net stuff so that it helps to hold the fishing net in place. There we go. And there you go, that's card number 1. Okie dokie. Right, let's have a little bit of a tidy up while people are finishing up. Get the extra shells out of the way, and let's have a raffle prize, shall we? So, get my rubbish out of the way as well. I don't want to see that, do you? Okay, let's see what the prizes are first off. So raffle prizes for tonight are, we've got an Abstract Beauty ephemera pack. So these are loads of stickers from the Abstract Beauty suite, which was in the last catalogue. So this is in the sale at the moment. So they're little speech bubbles, hearts, stars. There's some flowers at the back where there's some frames, little sentiment stickers, and you stamp your own on there. So there's a sticker pack. There is the in colour decorative matte dots. So we've used these a couple of times now. Both in the when we were doing the session using the teacups, and also when we were doing the sun prints workshop here. And there are the sweet sorbet red ones are up underneath the label here. So you get all the different colours from the in colour suite, and they're also ombre, so they get a bit lighter as they go across the strip as well. And then the final prize for tonight is faux linen ribbon in real red. So that's good for getting ready for kind of Christmas crafting, isn't it? Sounds mad that we're talking about that in July, but I know what crafters are like. All like me, I'm sure. Once we get to September, that's it. I'm in there. Got to be starting making Christmas stuff. Okay, so let's see who has a winning... Oh, let's find one that's creased up. A winning ticket. So tonight, our first number is number 268. If you've got 268, let me know, and also let me know which prize you would like. So which prize would you like for number 268? I don't believe that is my raffle ticket, but I will have a check and make sure. I think I have still got one in here somewhere in my bag. It's in here somewhere. Did I take my raffle ticket out? Hopefully I took mine out. Yep, no, I think I removed mine actually, so that's good. Yeah, so if you've got number 268, let me know. Would you let me know that it's you? It's you! Oh, wonderful, Dee. And the dots, fabulous. Right, let's put your name on there. Thank you, Dee, that's brilliant. I know you'll make good use of those, so that's great. D for the dots. Fab, wonderful. That's one prize down. Okay, fab. That's brilliant. Okay, how's everybody doing? Are you ready to move on to card number 2? Give me some thumbs up if you're ready to move on, having completed your bookbind card. Yep. Oh, we've got some, don't know what's happening with the faces. Is that somebody pressing the wrong button, or is someone having a disastrous evening? Shout so I can help. If you're stuck, give me a shout. If you're not stuck, then you'll need 2 more of your card bases for the next cards, which is, we're going to do card 2 and 3 kind of at the same time. So kind of at the same time. Nope, thumbs up. Wonderful. Right, let's move card number 1 out of the way then. Okay. So cards number 2 and 3 are going to be the ones that we make out of the single sheet of patterned paper, and we split it between the 2 cards. Loads of thumbs up now. Wonderful. Fabulous. Okay, so for this card, well, for these cards, you're going to need 2 card bases, and you should have one that is landscape and one that is portrait, but they've also, both of them have got a single score line in them. So we're going to do one that's portrait and one that's landscape. Okay, so you can fold those over and crease the spines of those to start with. And then I will make one of them for you, because the technique for making the other one is identical. You're just using the different part of the patterned paper. So the piece of patterned paper that you're going to need will be one that looks like this. So it's got this kind of geometric shape in the gold foil on it, And on the back, it's got some oak leaves, but it's the geometric foil side that I want to concentrate on, that I want to use. And then the other bit that I want you to use, apart from the little shells that we've already started on in your bag, you've also got, a piece that looks like this, which is embossed with seashells. And if you were a coffee clubber, you'll have that same piece, but with the die cut run over the top of it, so that they're already die cut out. And you will have, well, I've got 4 shells left from that card, so you should have plenty of seashells. Okay, so we'll put these to one side for the time being, and we'll also put to one side the card bases, because the bit that we want to work on first is the patterned paper. Okay, so we'll just put those to one side. And I'll also move those cards up a little bit as well, just out of the way. Now, you can do this next bit on your trimmer as long as you don't press too hard, or you can do it using your bone folder and a ruler, like the tip of your bone folder and a ruler. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the tip of my bone folder and the ruler. Now, I'm going to, if I mark it on here for starters, you're going to take out that center piece, but you're going to take it out by a tearing technique, okay? But in order to tear it and not tear the entire piece of paper, you do need to score it first, otherwise it will just go bonkers. So you're scoring from about here to about here. And that is, in rough terms, about an inch each way. So about an inch in from there, from the top right corner, and about an inch up from bottom left corner. And then the same on the opposite side. So you're scoring from there. So that's number 1 score. And then this one is number 2 score. So you're going to score them diagonally, okay? And that's number 2 there as well. So hopefully that makes sense. And what I'll show you how to do it in a moment, so that it should make even more sense. So what you're cutting out is that corner to corner central diagonal strip, okay? But you're going to tear it out once you've scored it. So let's do a rough score line there, and you don't need to go over it. It doesn't need to be too strong a score line. It just needs to be a pretty rough score line, so that you can see it, so you can know where you're tearing, and also so that it gives you that guide when you're tearing. It doesn't, it means the paper doesn't kind of go off at an angle or anything. And the same with number 2. So corner to corner. So if I take the piece of paper away, I will draw it back in again so that you can see what it would then look like. You would have a score line there and a score line there. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tear along the score lines. Now, before you start tearing, if you look at this card, you need to think about which way you're tearing it. So you need to think where your starting point is. So for this one, if you look at the edges, you've got white, the white of the patterned paper showing through on both of the edges, which means that your opposite, your twin card, does not have the white of the edges on both sides. Now, if you tear in opposite directions when you're tearing these two score lines, then what you'll find is that one of your pairs, one of your cards has got a tear line on one edge and the other edge doesn't have the white tear line. What you want is for your card to either have the white showing through of the paper underneath or not. So in order to achieve that, you've got to tear in the same direction with both tears. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to start on the right hand side and I'm going to tear right to left. So I'm starting with the top piece and I'm going to tear right to left down the score line. So I'm not trying to stick entirely to the score line, but where it kind of wanders off a bit, I know I can bring it back. that make sense? And so there I've got that first diagonal piece. And as you can see, I've got the white of the paper showing through. So now what I want is the same on the other side. So I was holding that middle strip and tearing with that middle strip from top right to bottom left. So I'm going to do exactly the same with this bottom quadrant. So I'm holding and tearing the middle strip down the score line so that my white unpatterned paper that is inside the patterned paper comes out on that bottom corner, and that means that this central strip has no white on the edges at all, so that it matches, both sides match. So that is how you get your two pieces ready for your twin cards, if you like. So I'll just pause there a moment while you kind of have a go at that and see if you can get the tears in the right place. Tearing is a bit of a new craze in paper crafting. So you'll remember that those of you who follow the blog or who've been going to the bonus projects, that some of these craft clubs have had bonus projects afterwards that I've put on the blog or on YouTube. There was the torn and rolled up card where let me see if I can find it actually, and I'll show you what I mean. Because this is, I think, where the tearing craze started with this particular card. There it is. So do you remember this card with the torn strip in the middle to reveal that beautiful landscape watercolour underneath? So it was a torn strip and then rolled up to give you that illusion that someone literally just ripped back the paper and underneath there's this beautiful scene. In fact, it was very carefully torn through exactly this technique with scoring and then tearing on top. But yeah, tearing is a big deal at the moment in paper crafting, so it's good to have a go at and see what you can do with it, really. Okie dokie, right then. So, one of my lights gone out. I think one of my lights might have gone out. Yep. That's as bright as it's going to get. Never mind. Okay, so thumbs up if you've got your torn pieces. Then I can move on to the what goes where. Yep. Fab, lovely, wonderful, brilliant. Oh, wonderful. You're all getting the hang of this. This is fantastic. Right then. So now we're going back to our card bases. Now in order, I mean, you could have it portrait if you wanted to, but I've done both of my cards landscape. So even though the opening is on a different side of the card, on each of the cards, they're both landscape images, but you could do one portrait if you wanted to. That's completely up to you, really. So we're going to stick with a border still, one of them across the middle, and then the other two torn pieces are going to go on the top left corner and bottom right corner. Okay, so that's the bit you need to do next, is to stick things down. Stick your bits of torn paper onto your card bases. The only thing you need to be aware of is that you've got it the right side for the opening, so that you're sticking them with the opening in the right place, and that you've also got the border still around the edge of your patterned paper. But I think this has got endless possibilities, this tearing technique, actually, because you could just put one central image in the middle of your torn paper. Then it also means if you've got scraps of paper that you want to use up, then you can use scraps up. So yeah, loads of opportunities, I think, really. I do love something where you get to use up your scraps. I like to be a thrifty crafter if I can. So again, when you're sticking these ones down, just make sure you've got that border. Oops, that's a bit of a small border on that one. Let's make that a bit bigger. The diagonal one I find is the most difficult one to do. The central piece is the hardest to get stuck in the right place. But once you've got those two pieces stuck down, then you can move them out the way, those card bases, because you then need to prepare your shells next. So you're going to want either or the piece that you've got die cut out ready from Coffee Club, or the piece that's in your pack that came with this workshop, or both if you want to use both, completely up to you. So let's move those two cards, the actual real ones, out the way a minute, and let's put those bases out the way too. So the reason I'm bringing these in now is because I'm going to add some blended ink first before I cut any shells out. So if you've got these shells cut from Coffee Club, because they've already been through the die cutting machine, all you'll need to do is snip the joins where the shells are attached to bits. Or you could leave some of the bits, like some of this seaweed, you could leave some of that attached if you wanted to as well. If you've got the piece, or if you're going to also add something to this piece of just the embossed, then you'll need to cut all the way around the outside of the shells, fussy cut them all the way around the outside. But again, it's not too difficult, especially being an embossed image. It really helps to see where the edge of those shells are. So all I'm going to do is add a bit of embossed ink to them. I'm going to go with Petal Pink, so I want it to accent it a little bit. It's quite a light tone, Petal Pink, so I'm going to go with quite a lot of ink, quite a strong bit of blending. And I'm going to do more on one side of the shell to give a bit more structure to it, so that it looks a bit more like the shadow is on one side of the shell. I think while I'm here, I might as well do the others as well. And this one I think I'm going to do in bands across. That's it, just a bit of ink to highlight them, really, through the blending brush. And then once you've got the shells the colours that you want to, then you can just start to snip them apart. So either snipping the join where they've been die cut already, or you can cut them out completely. So with this one, I'm going to leave a little bit of, I put the card down, leave a little bit of weed on that one as well. I'm not going to cut it out entirely. With this next one, I'm going to cut it out completely, I think. Actually, maybe I'll leave those little bits of weed at the top there, I think. Like I say, it's really easy to see where you need to cut on these because of the embossing. Really kind of helps to make it obvious where you want to cut. And then once you've got as many shells cut out as you want to have cut out, then it's really easy because you're just going back to your bag of extra die cut shells and you are just snipping away and just adding in as many shells as you want to from either the bag of die cuts or these ones that you're just fussy cutting out yourself, and layer them up on the front of your cards. The other thing you should have in your little bag of goodies as well is a little strip of some unusual looking gems. Let me get those out. So this, I've got bits stuck on it from the fishing net. This little strip of unusual kind of looking stones, these are faux sea glass stones, or faux sea glass gems that are in the back of the main catalogue where the embellishments are. And they're just something a bit different really, to add just a different bit of dimension and colour and structure to your project. So you can kind of throw them in wherever you want to as well. And before you kind of go mad and stick every shell that you've got in your little bag down, just have a look at your final card, and you want to just save a couple of shells for your final card. So I am going to save, let's have a look, I'm going to save that peachy one and that blue one and perhaps the other blue shell, I think. Yeah, I think I'll save those. But the rest of my shells that are in my bag and the ones that I've cut from this embossed piece, I'm going to stick all of those onto my card front. In fact, I'm going to cut out even some more from here. I'm going to cut this one out as well, just to show that I am not averse to completely fussy cutting something. Good job Amber's on holiday, because at this point she would be saying, and why haven't you die cut every shell? And the answer to that is because it was going to take too long. Nothing more than that. So, and also I thought you might like to stick different bits of weed together. You might like to layer the weed, the seaweed. You might like to keep some shells already stuck onto some of the seaweed. You might not. You might want to separate them. So I left it so that it was your choice. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Okay. So once you've got your patterned papers stuck on, your strips, and you've got, make sure you've got the cards up the right way, and you've got all your various shells cut out, the next thing to do is to just randomly scatter your shells wherever you want, really. So I might have that one going down the middle of this one this time, actually, and have this one in the corner. Just going to randomly, I think I might stick those two together, maybe. Which ones was I saving? No, hang on a minute, I was saving some, wasn't I? Let me save those, I think, for my last card. Let's get those out of the way before I start using them. There we go. Yes, I think I might have that one on there, and then a bit of that one perhaps. I always find it's easiest to kind of lay them all out how you want them to be first, because you might decide you want to use them all and you might not. You might decide you don't want to use them all. So lay them all out first how you want them to be. And before you then stick them down, and then you've also got the chance to be able to stick some down flat onto the card, and some you might want to stick 3D with 3D pads. So I'm going to just scatter them like that, I think, across my card, and then you just get sticking basically, and think about where you might want a sentiment as well. So here the kind of obvious place would be up in this top left corner, in the centre torn card, and possibly in the same place or in the bottom right with the other card as well. So completely and utterly your choice as to where you want things, but just gonna grab some glue and get sticking with them. There we go. And that final shell, I think I'll add that with a 3D pad so that it lifts the card a little bit. There we go. So that's that one completed. I just need to add a sentiment to that one. And then this one down here. Again, I'm going to do a kind of random bit of, some of them are going to be stuck flat and some of them are going to be with 3D pads. I'm going to Do you know what? I think I might leave the die cuts in that piece as well. I might not take the die cuts out of that because you can see the ridges of the shell beautifully. So I think I'm going to leave that one in as it is with all those die cut pieces still in place. And then the other two I think I will layer on top with pads again. Give that bit of dimension. Come on, that way. And this one, yeah, stick a pad behind that one, I think. I'm going to leave the weed free floating on this one as well, so I'm not even going to stick that down completely. And then this final little shell, I'm going to layer up over the top. So it really shows up nicely with that beautiful gold paper. And then I'm going to scatter a couple of these stones as well, these little faux glass embossed embellishments. If I can peel it off the back in with the glue intact would be handy. Come on, there we go. Just scatter them a bit across both cards, kind of evenly distributed, as if there was just bits of sea glass around these shells as well, just for a bit more texture, added interest, dimension, just something extra really. There we go. And then I can add my sentiments to those at a later date when I want to. Okay, let's pause there for a moment and let people catch up. Let me know how you're getting on. Do you like the torn technique? Or is it a bit too random for some people? Would you prefer something a bit more kind of precision driven? What do people think? Is it something that you like? What's the kind of thought on that? I think I might need to clean a bit of grid paper in a minute as well. Okay, while you're thinking about that and finishing off, let's do another raffle prize. So we've got two more prizes left. We've got the ribbon and the sticker pack. Still not rained here yet, Audrey. Too random for Audrey, yeah. I knew it wouldn't work for everybody. There's still no rain here yet though, Audrey. It's looking darker and darker by the second, but there is no rain yet. Okay, so we've got number 264 is our next prize. If you've got 264, let me know. And also let me know which prize you would like. Would you like the sticker pack or would you like the ribbon? What's your preference? Meanwhile, I'll find a bit of tape to stick it on with. And then I'm going to have a clear up before we start our final card, I think. Okay, so who's got 264? Only had one storm, not much, lasted 10 minutes. Oh, that's what's going at the moment though, isn't it? It's not, we're not really getting proper rain. You get just that short burst and it's, yeah, it's a bit miserable really, isn't it? We could do with a good soaking, I think. That would help, but never mind. If you've got 264, give me a shout. Otherwise, I will stick it on my camera stand. In fact, I'll stick it on my camera stand anyway, in case anyone changes their mind and wants to own up to having 264. Right, I'm going to have a clear up a moment. Bear with me. Let's get rid of those cards out of the way a minute. I'm going to have a clean sheet. Turn that over. So that, there we go. That's better. So you'll be able to see what I'm doing with this last card. So, for your last card, desperately need the rain for the garden, I know, Julie, I know. So you're going to need basically all the bits that you've got left in your envelope. All the little bits that you have left. Maybe not these random bits of torn card. Is Evelyn feeling better? She is, thank you, Dee. She's woke up this morning feeling loads better. And so, like I was saying at the beginning, she's gone to this presentation evening at Carterton with Darren. So, and she was really chuffed about him asking her to go, because I knew I had Card Club booked in already. And to be perfectly honest with you, he won't see this video. I've been with him before when he's got the award, and I thought it was deadly dull, so I really didn't want to go again. I was very delighted to have Card Club, let me tell you. But he asked her to go as his +1, and she was absolutely delighted. So she's put makeup on, she's got a pretty dress on. Oh my goodness. Jewellery, the works, the absolute works. She was in heaven to be asked. So yeah, she's feeling loads better, thank you. Okie dokie. So everybody ready to move on to this last card? Give me some thumbs up if you're happy to move on while I slurp my tea a minute. Yep. Fabulous. Lovely. Good, good, good. All right, that's good then. Okay, so you've got 2 card bases, because this card, oh, I should bring in the card first, that might be helpful. So this is this like double stepper kind of thing. So it's made up of 2 cards joined together to give you the kind of double stepping effect. Okay. So the first card base is the pale one, which is the pool party. So if you get that one out, and you just need to fold it and crease it in the usual way with the bone folder. So nothing too technical there. And then you're going to put that one out the way, because we're not going to come back to this one until the very, very end of this card. So just put it to one side, because we're going to make the card on the darker coloured card, which is soft succulent, this darker card. And you will have 2 creases already on this card. Okay, so one of them you are going to crease to fold the card in half. And you're going to fold it, sorry, to make the card be in half. And then you're going to fold the second score line back on itself, so that you get that effect. Okay, so if I stand it on its side, so you can see it on its side as well. That's what it should look like. Okay. And it's this piece of card that you're going to decorate, not the back piece, not the actual card base. It's this bit that gets decorated, and then at the very end you add it onto the card base to make the complete card. Okay, so this is the darker card, soft succulent. You're going to fold it in half on the center score line, and then that second score line you're going to fold back on itself, so that you get that kind of shape when you stick it on its side. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so if you lay it on its back so that the big piece of card is flat on your table, and that is where this green kind of greeny bluey piece, hashed piece kind of goes on this back piece. All right, and again, as always, you've got a nice neat border around the outside. And then if you then fold the card up so that you've got that extra piece folded in place, then this second piece, which is the kind of hashed with gold, like a yellowy pinky kind of colour, and it's got flowers on the back, that piece goes on the front of your folded up piece. So that's how you want to stick everything down to start with, okay? Now on my original one, there was a second piece of like the fishing net kind of stuff, but when I then looked back at it, I thought actually this paper already has the gold on it, and I felt it kind of detracted from the nice pattern on this paper really to add the fishing net. So you haven't got a second fishing net, and neither have I, because I do not intend to use a second fishing net bit on this card, because I actually don't think I like my sample as much as I like it without. So I decided against that. Okay, so that's what you want to stick down first. Okay, so you want to stick down the green bit for the back, and also the kind of pretty hashed bit as well. And again, you can use any, this is sticking flat down, no dimension at all. So you can use whatever glue you normally like to use for sticking paper to card, anything at all. Just get that in place, and obviously just make sure that you've got that border all the way around. And if you're looking at where it needs to line up best, it needs to line up most accurately at the top. So if you've got more of a gap at one end than the other, make sure that the gap is like inside, if you like, at the fold end, not at the top, because that's the bit that you're going to see when you open the card. And then before you stick this second smaller piece on the front, just fold it up to make sure you're sticking it to the right section of card, okay? And trust me, I have done this card design with loads of other patterned papers, and I have stuck the paper in the wrong place. So it is definitely possible to do. And then this bit needs to go slap bang in the centre, again with that nice border around the outside, okay? So that's your two bits of patterned paper then stuck on. So you should have it so it looks kind of like that. So you've still got that stepper effect, but the big piece of paper is stuck to the back and the little piece of paper is stuck to that very front piece. So there's no paper on that centre square. So if you pulled it out flat, you've got like a plain square of card or rectangle of card in the middle with no patterned paper on it. And that's because it's not going to show when you stand the card up. Okay, once you've done that, the next thing you need to do is to decorate the front of your card with those remaining shells that you saved, and with your sentiment as well. So if you've not yet stamped a sentiment, like me, I haven't done one yet, then now's a good time to stamp your sentiment and stick your shells together and everything. So I'm going to lay out my shells first, and then that will help me decide what colour piece of card I want to do for my sentiment. So I'm going to layer the gold shell with that pretty pink, and then my other shells like that. So then I want to think, I don't want to use that one. I could use that piece. That would coordinate quite well. Or I might use this one and then make my sentiment really stand out. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that sentiment. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment next and get rid of those spare bits of card. I am going to stamp my sentiment in the petal pink, tone on tone. And in the Seasons of Chic stamp set, you've got a lovely big thanks, which is really nice to stamp out. And because it's a lovely big stamp, it's easy to cut around the letters if you like doing that sort of style of letter cutting. But I think I'm going to do the You Are Amazing Beyond Measure for a different one, just so that I've got some different words to give out. If I can find it in here, there it is. Oops. So we'll just do a bit of tone on tone stamping. I think that's roughly centre. There we go. Quite nice actually. It's quite pale, but it's nice. I'm not really into the pale pinks. I really don't like the baby, what's it called? Blushing Bride, that one. I really don't like that pink, but I really quite like this one because it's almost like an orangey pink, which I much prefer, I have to say. Like a pale, a peachy pink, that's the word. Like a peachy pink. So I'm just going to cut this one. Let's cut it the other way around. So that it's just a square sentiment. I am not going to cut round all these little words like I did on the thank you that I originally did. Just going to cut it off square like that. Let's just trim that down so it looks looks a bit tidier. There we go. Okay. Get rid of the rubbish. So then all you need to do next is just layer up those shells. So I'm going to start by sticking my gold shell to the solid background of this scallop. And again, it doesn't matter too much if every single strand of the scallop is attached. It's okay for it to be a bit free floating here and create a bit of dimension. Same as before, turn it over, give it a really good press so that any of the excess glue squidges out and you can get rid of that. And then stick it flat down on the card. And then add my other two shells. Marion, I'm still baffled about what happened to your bit of netting, your fishing net, because I'm normally, when I always cut, I know what number of things I'm cutting when I'm cutting for any clubs or any workshops. So I just keep going until I've got that number. So if it's, you know, 10 or 20 or whatever of an item for the number of people that are coming to the workshop or want kits or whatever. If I've missed somebody's pack, then you can bet your life I will find it on the floor afterwards, which is really annoying because I then have to go through all the packs and see which one is missing, whatever that little item of die cut is that I missed off. And I didn't find any fishing net on the floor. So I'm really baffled as to, I obviously didn't count when I was cutting my fishing net bit. That's very frustrating and annoying. Never mind, I have got some more gold left, so that's fine. Oh, there you go. Liz has got your fishing net. Right, Marion, what you need to do is just pop down to Liz's and she'll be able to give you your fishing net, okay? There you go, look, that's what happened. Lucky you, Liz. You've got two. Well, that's fabulous. That's hilarious, that is. No wonder you haven't got one because it's in Liz's pack. They obviously stuck together, which is the other thing that happens with die cuts is often when you're cutting a load in one go and then you're sticking them in a pile, two of them will stick together, which is also very annoying. Where is she? Oh, Marion, you don't want to... I don't think you want to trip out to... Is it Ox Hill, isn't it? Liz? Is it Ox Hill? It's a Coventry postcode anyway, so far enough away that you probably don't want to trip down there just to collect a bit of fishing net. I will cut you another bit, don't worry. Okay, I'll pause there while everyone's kind of decorating their front of their cards. Before we finally stick that front to the card base, and then that is the last card finished. Yeah, near Stratford-on-Avon, Marion. Not like nipping round the corner to me. Do not worry, I will cut you another one tomorrow. But thank you for owning up, Liz, that I'm a bit hopeless. Yeah, oh yeah, Jodie, of course. Yeah, unless, Marion, you fancy a cuddle with an alpaca while you're there, because Liz has got, I don't know if you'd call it a farm, Liz. Is it an alpaca farm, or is it just, have you just got a few alpacas? I know you have an awful lot of wool from your alpacas and do lots of amazing things with it. But I don't know how many you've actually got. Okay. Once those of you that are speedy crafters, once you've got to the point where you've decorated all of your front piece, then all you need to do is stick glue or tape or whatever all over the back of the piece you've decorated. So all over that back portion, and then stick it to the front of your finished card. And you'll be sticking it so that the bottom edges line up, so that then when you stand it up, it rests on the base in the same way. A collection. She's got a collection. 16? Good grief. My goodness me. Marion will be around there on Tuesday, but it'd be better to get another one from you. I'll cuddle and I'll pack another day. Absolutely no problem. I will cut you another one tomorrow. Do not worry. Okay, so yeah, if you're in that sort of final stage, then you want some glue on the back of the piece you've just decorated, on the back of the big bit only, not on the back of all your folded out pieces. And then you're lining it up with the base. And again, just check and make sure you've got the base, you know, you've got that card the right way up. So you're lining it up with the base of that card so that it will stand up on its own when you open it up. And so that is exactly the reason why I've chosen to use wet glue at this point, so that I can again slide it around and get it in the right place where I want it to go. And again, I'm going to be, oh, let's just move that down a little bit. Stuck it too firmly. I'm going to be opening it out and giving it a good smooth over with the bone folder to make sure that glue is really firmly stuck. Okay. And then when you open up your card, you should have a little double stepper that stands up all on its own. There you go. So I'll bring in, that's the one that I've just made, and that was my original one. Let's just put those down flat so you can see. I'll put my, can I put the bone folder over the top so they stay put? Just about. Oh no, not going to play, are they? There we go. You can just see them. Okay. Right, so while you're finishing up that one, we'll have another raffle prize. Don't forget, we've still got 2 tickets to go, 2 prizes to choose from, because the last raffle ticket, number 264, hasn't gone yet. So we've got the red ribbon or the sticker pack. And it is, oh, let's have that one that's squashed in the middle. Look, that one there. There we go. It's number 263. So we've got 264 and 263. So if your number is 263 or 264, please let me know, and let me know which prize you would like. So 263 or 264, let me know which one you want. And I will grab some more tape so I can stick your ticket to it. So 263 or 264, and which prize would you like? And if you're watching on the replay and it's before the end of August 2022, please let me know so that you can still win your prize, because I don't just give prizes away on the night. They're good all the way for another month. So if you are watching this on the replay and you have 263 or 264, please email me and let me know. Don't stick it in the comments here, because I often don't go back and see those. If you can email me and tell me that you've got that number, then I will make sure that you get your prize. Okay. Liz ran out of shell for the last card, went a bit wild, so use the inside bits of your clamshell to make some weed and add colour. Oh, wow. Oh, cool. I can't wait to see the photo of that one then. That sounds good. That sounds really good. Yeah, you do have to weigh up what you're going to use in these kind of kits, about how much you're going to use on each version. Okay, so we've got 263 and 264. As nobody's shouting, I'm going to just stick these on these prizes. So that is what 263 and 264 will be winning. Wonderful. Okay then. Right, let's bring all the cards back in so you can see them. So we've got the sort of twin cards. Don't know what else to call these really. These twin cards. And then we've got the book bind as well. And then the lovely stepper So many cards, so many cards, so many cards. Right, just move my chair back a bit a minute. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you've had as much fun as I have had. I'll just leave it on those cards for just a minute before I kind of turn the camera around and do our final kind of farewells. So if you like these sweets and you're looking for some seashells and an all season round stamp set or die set, then it's the Texture Chic Suite or Seasons of Chic stamp set and dies that you're looking for. I'm just going to see if I can find the dies in the back to show you what's in the dies, because you get so many in this Seasons of Chic. Thank you, Dee. Hopefully I will. If we can get packed in time to go. We're leaving at 3 o'clock on Saturday morning, so goodness only knows if we'll be packed in time. Because the other thing I haven't told you yet is Alexander's not actually here at the moment. He's not at home. He's on silver expedition for Duke of Edinburgh in the Brecon Beacons, if you please. And he won't be back until at least 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And then we're leaving to go at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So that's joy. Right, okay, so there we go. So if you're looking at the dies that we've used tonight, on page 166 of the main catalogue, you'll be able to see all the dies in this top right hand corner. And as you can see from the symbol as well, if you've got the mini die cut and emboss machine, it works on the mini because you've got the little mini symbol in the corner. So you know that those dies fit into the mini machine as well as the big machine. So you've got the little fishing net, you've got the seashells, the other little seashell, and then the little mini seashell down the bottom. You've got snowflakes, the oak leaves, some other leaves. In fact, you've got 3 different sizes of snowflake and a background snowflake as well. No, 4 snowflakes, sorry. It's another little starburst down the bottom there, as well as your little flowers and things. So loads of choice with that die bundle that goes with the stamp set as well. And the stamp set has got lots of shell and leaf images, as well as the snowflake and that little the brush stroke, and then some little texture dots as well, which are always handy to have actually for background stamping and things. So yeah, great little set that, because it's something you can use all year round, so that's handy. Right, let's turn the camera back round. Hang on, there we go. Hello. Gosh, it's suddenly got really dark in here. Yeah, feels really dark now. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Now, obviously, we want to carry on with the order draw and the sharing photos of your projects draw. But because I won't be here on Sunday at the end of the month, I'm going to leave it until I'm back from holiday. So that will be sometime around Coffee Club next month, so at the beginning of August, okay? So please do share photos of your projects. I will put, as always, I'll put a new post on with the photos of my cards that I've made, and if you can put photos underneath in the comments, that would be amazing to get entered into the prize draw. And if you want to keep ordering, lots of you are taking advantage of Celebration, so don't forget, orders over £45, get a Celebration item. If you look in the Facebook group or in some of the emails I've sent, you've also got the host code. If you also use the host code on your order, you will get another freebie in the post from me as well. So loads of free stuff basically for your order this month. And you'll go into the prize draw for orders that have been placed at the end when I come back from my holiday as well. Okay? All right then. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. And thank you for all your good wishes about going on holiday. I'll get back to my packing and I will see you all soon. Okay, take care then. Bye everyone.